What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Krayonn Rocket Podcast. So we're going to be doing things just slightly different today. Kind of don't know the stories a little bit like I usually pick them, but this one I was like, you know what? Let's try a little different approach to it. So that's what we're going to do. So I hope that y'all been having a great week. I hope that y'all are blessed and know what, we are ready for another episode, y'all. We are ready for another episode. So we're gonna jump into this one. Let's go. Whoops, my bad.
Everyone, time for the morning rush. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled a woman's lawsuit against state police can move forward. Roxanne Torres says in 2014, officers approached her at her complex while they were serving a warrant to a different woman. She says she thought the cops in tactical gear and not in uniform were trying to carjack her, so she hopped into a car and sped away. Allegedly driving towards an officer that day, police then shot at her. In a few weeks, the state plans on making every New Mexican eligible. He had been at that home before, noticed that they were.
So, hold on. Let's go back to that one again real quick.
A warrant to a different woman. She says she thought the cops in tactical gear. Torres says in 2014, officers approached her at her complex while they were serving a warrant to a different woman. She says she thought the cops in tactical gear and not in uniform were trying to carjack her, so she hopped into a car and sped away. Allegedly driving towards an officer that day, police then shot at her. In a few weeks,
Man, just imagine that, right? You freak out because, you know what, you think the police are actually after you, but they actually have a warrant for some other woman. But then you start freaking out, right? You start freaking out, and then you go and you carjack somebody or whatever, right? And then you start taking off. You sped. You almost hit an officer. You almost hit an officer, and then what? Ooh, come on. Now that part. It's crazy. That shows how guilty you are, but then you just put yourself in even more trouble than you probably even were. You probably weren't even in trouble, right? But then you put yourself in that situation. And then what? And then what? Now you arrest. Now you got some charges on you. Maybe even adding charges to you. Just ain't, man, it ain't good. It ain't good. Karma, bro. When you guilty, it's gonna show. And know what? When you guilty, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna act a fool. You're gonna be foolish. And know what? That's what happened. That's what happened. Y'all, shoot. She got scared. She's like, oh man, the warrant's for me. And then she went, carjacked, boom. Almost ran into a police officer, boom. Arrested, get shot at. You made the situation more hectic than it probably ever was gonna be, right? You made the situation hectic because of how you reacted, because you thought it was against you. You decided to flee, all these different things, and now look at you get shot at, charges on, bro. Some of y'all need to like kind of just calm down, assess the situation first, see if it's a mistake first before you go and give yourself up like that, bro. Come on. And what? Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
40, the DOH says they plan to comes to getting up on visitation. Older have gotten at least one. County sheriff's deputies being hailed as heroes this morning, and early loud but outdoors still preferred. A group of San Juan County sheriff's deputies being hailed as heroes this morning. In early March, deputies arrived at a home of a wheelchair-bound couple. The house was on fire and pulled them out to safety. As it turned out, another deputy had been at that home before, noticed that there were no smoke detectors, and worked to get them installed. The fire chief praised the deputies in a recent ceremony. Eric.
Oh, we're looking at more snow showers.
Okay, Noah, that's cool. Glad that those sheriffs were proactive on the whole situation, right? That they, noticed that there was no smoke alarms, that they were going to get them installed for them and everything. There's this, these will-bound elderly couple and stuff, right? So you see that, then they're proactive. They get up on the site, they go rescue them in the fire, they get them out. And that's good, bro. Those are some local heroes that we need to highlight, that we probably don't ever highlight whatsoever. Not even Lil, not a tad, none of that, right? So, praise and applauds to those heroes, to those sheriffs that did their duty and really just like made an impact in their lives and probably to the families' lives and in the lives of the community, right? That's what we need to see is more heroic actions, even if it's like something that should already be done no matter what. It's those things that's what makes so much, like, really just brings hope into the world, bro, for real, right? But yeah, that's awesome. Thank God for those sheriffs to go and being able to go and do their job in that way, right? In that way, right? So, you know what? We're going to jump into the next one if my thing wants to actually work. But yeah, let's go. Come on.
Limits can now apply for utility and rental assistance. $5 million in federal was arrested on a warrant yesterday. Months. It is separate from the program for people within the city. A man police say is connected to the case of the bodies found at the Sunport is in jail. Daniel Lemos was arrested on a warrant yesterday. Grants police have been looking for him since Jennifer Lannon, Matthew Miller, and Justin Mata went missing. Right now, Lemos is not a suspect, but he is related to one of the victims. Police are questioning him to see what he does know. New details into the plane crash near Lords.
You know what? That's good. You know what? At least they got some leads in that case, right? You know, all these, all those connections and stuff like that. This dude being related to one of the suspects and stuff like that. So that's good. Be on top of that, right? Be on top of that. Take all the leads that you could possibly get. Do something. Be proactive on it, and don't allow little mishaps or anything, or don't allow these people to get away with it, or things slip through the cracks and evidence not be able to be brought forward because y'all did not proactively be on top of it, right? So that's good. I'm glad that they went to and they're like, okay, you know what, this dude related to one of the suspects, and what, we're going to go ask him everything that we know, everything that we're going to ask him everything that he knows about the relative, about the other suspects, maybe even the situation itself, right? That's good. Be proactive. Be proactive. That's what we want to see in our community. That's what we want to see be done, is y'all being proactive. Not just like, oh man, this slipped through the cracks again. Oh, this slipped through the cracks again. And then we go through this whole cycle of things happening. They get free. All these different situations, bro. All these different situations, and yet we don't see no change in it, right? We don't see no change in it. So that's good. I'm glad that they are being proactive in this, right? And that they're doing their job and doing what they need to do.
Police are questioning him to see what he does know. New details into the plane crash near Lordsburg that left 2 officers injured. The small aircraft went down Wednesday morning with 2 officers from Fulshire, Texas on board. State police and U.S. Border Patrol helped find them. Both did suffer severe injuries. They're expected to be okay, though. The NTSB is now investigating. This week's windy weather took a toll on the...
Oh, okay, you know what? Man, that crash looked bad, bro, and I think they survived injuries and stuff. But know what? Yeah, do the investigation. But know what? I'm glad that they're safe. I'm glad that people respond, that they respond to them and to the crash and to the people that were in the airplane and everything like that. Prayers out to them and the families, bro. Man, that's like my worst fear, right? Being in an airplane. I'm already scared of heights as it is, but being in an airplane then crashing, bro, just like that instant fear of the whole time until you crash, and then the pain if you are alive after you crash, right? That's the thing. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's scarier, the pain after, knowing that you survived, or the whole everything leading up to the crash, bro. I don't know. I would be scared, bro. Honestly, I think I'd be in shock. To be honest, I don't think I would have the courage or the adrenaline or anything to really be able to do anything, because I think I would just be in so much fear. I would just be pretty much frozen. They'd probably think I would be dead, bro, and then I'd probably die because no one treated me, right? That's like my worst fear. Finally going in an airplane or something, then crashing. Oh, bro, that would be PTSD, like nonstop. I would have nightmares about that all the time, bro. I would not be able to get over that whatsoever, man. I would not be able to get over that whatsoever. But let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Let's see.
For more details, go to krqe.com. We're learning the funeral for the slain Boulder police officer will be held next Tuesday. Officer Eric Telley, an Albuquerque native, was the first officer to arrive at the King's Superstore on Monday as a gunman was running rampant inside. Attorneys for the suspect say he may suffer from mental illness and they want more time to evaluate him. APD is searching for missing.
Yeah, so I recently found that out, that the officer in the Boulder shooting, I think, was actually from New Mexico. So, like, just crazy how certain situations could hit home when someone is actually from here, right? Because I don't know how other people would feel if maybe that wasn't the case. It's still a tragic situation, whether the person was from here, the officer was from here, or not, right? Just the whole situation, scary, and just, man, another tragedy. We're dealing with these same mass shootings once again, and it's just not, it's a never-ending cycle, bro. It's a never-ending cycle, and you know what? I believe it's just social media and just the news. Like, it's kind of like that copycat thing. Like, they see it, and then they want that recognition that the other ones are getting because they did something very similar, right? That's what it is. It's like, oh, wow, there's some type of fame attached to this, right? Some type of notoriety attached to it, and then that's kind of like another fuel to the flame of why they want to do something like that. And no, I ain't gonna get political, conspiracy, any of that stuff, but know what? We know that these things happen, right? We know that's kind of like one of those things that just, we know, it happens. And yeah, it's crazy, right? It's very, very crazy. But yeah. So we're gonna jump back into this one. Let go.
Man this morning that they say may be violent. Jose Sanchez has been missing since his recent release from UNM Hospital. Here's a look at his picture. APD says Sanchez suffers from paranoid schizophrenia and is known to be extremely violent. They believe he's gone without his medication for 5 days now. If you've seen him, you're asked to call police. Oil and gas regulators in the state now have new rules in place to reduce methane emissions. Major tie-ups just yet.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? So if y'all see that dude anywhere around, do not approach him. Because apparently he's violent, man. He suffered from schizophrenia and different things like that. And you know what? Being related to, someone that's just like that, and just, like, even throughout my life, I've come across people like that. It's scary because, like, you see that side of them, but then you see the real side of them. It's just, it's a mind trip, bro. Because, like, you have the sympathy for it, but then you're in fear, and then you ain't all these different things towards them, right? And they just can't control it. It's just like a switch. Boom, it just happens. They can't control it. So you know what? Being around someone like that, you do not want to try to trigger them. Sometimes that's easier said than done. Sometimes you can't do anything about it, and they are going to get triggered, right? But the thing is, like, you don't want to be in their way when they snap, bro. When they switch, that ain't going. That I'm just being honest. It ain't a pleasant sign. It ain't pretty. None of that. It's scary, bro. It's super, super scary. So. Yeah, no way. If y'all seen the dude, just try not to be anywhere near him, man.
As schools across the state continue to open back up for in-person learning,
we know that ain't gonna be
Snob Hill substation.
Anything. So let's jump into this one.
It was once a little diner built during the World War II era.
Oh.
You might have drove by APD's Triangular Park substation at Girard and Central, and you might have noticed officers working inside. Well, back in the 1940s, this quaint little building served as a diner, making up the fabric of the iconic Route 66. The diner started out downtown at Central and 8th. It was moved to Nob Hill in 1997. There are 2 other surviving diners from the same manufacturer in Grants and in Boothel. Number 4 now, possible break in the...
Huh, nice. That's pretty cool. I've always seen it. I always pass by it, and I was always a little confused. I'm like, is it a diner? Is it a police station? What? Now I know it actually is a police station, but it used to be a diner, bro. That's pretty cool. That's lit, bro. That's lit. No way, like, that's really cool. I mean, just to see something, a little history, right? And just kind of see it in your own hometown that you pass by every single day. Sometimes you take it for granted, stuff like that. But that, to me, is dope, bro. That's dope. So now what? We're gonna jump into the. I think this is gonna be the last one. I think, or maybe, yeah, I think so. Let's go.
The case of the bodies found at the Sunport this morning, a man wanted in connection to the disappearance of 3 of the victims is in police custody. Daniel Lemos was arrested in Albuquerque on a warrant yesterday. Grants police had been looking for him since Jennifer Lannon, Matthew Miller, and Justin Mata went missing. That was before they, along with a 4th person, were found dead in a car at the Sunport. Lemos has not been identified as a suspect in their deaths, but police believe he may know something. Eric.
Well, to kick off our...
Okay, well, you know what? That's good. At least now there's a break in the case. They got one of them in custody, right? So that's good. It's a break in the case. At least and they're being proactive, like I said before. But at least there's some progress in it, right? There's some progress in this, and it's being done, right? It's being really, really, really good. So that's great. I'm so glad that there's a break in that case. They got one of them. Now they start asking some questions, right? They got him, and then they got the relative, right? So it's all falling into place. Hopefully, they don't lead into a dead end and stuff. But man, that's good. That's good. I'm glad that they are really just being into just having a break in that case.
Number 2, now we're learning the slain Boulder police officer who had ties to New Mexico will have his funeral next Tuesday. Officer Eric Talley, an Albuquerque native, was the first officer to arrive at the King Superstore on Monday as a gunman was running rampant inside, firing off several rounds. Police say the gunman killed 10 people that day, including Officer Talley. In the meantime, yesterday during a court hearing, attorneys for the suspected gunman say they need at least 3 months to evaluate his mental status.
Person probably is just mentally ill and stuff like that. Maybe it wasn't motivated or anything like that. I don't know, but just this mental issue, right? This mental crisis with these mass shootings and stuff. It's a huge deal. They don't talk about it enough, right? They don't talk about the mental side of it and like them having these mental issues and stuff like that. They don't talk about it enough. But know what? At least we're getting a funeral next week for the fallen officer. And know what? Like I said, prayers and everything to the family, to those around them, and just to the other victims and everything like that. Prayers to all of you. Know what? I'm pretty sure the community over here is going to really just go out there and support their love for that officer, bro. And know what? A lot of news in this one. A lot of news. But if we could take anything from any of this, is that, know what? Life is so short, right? Life is so short. There's going to be heroes and villains in your life. Believe me, there's going to be heroes and villains in your life. There's going to be those that really make a huge impact in your life in a positive way, and there's going to be those that make a huge impact in your life in a negative way, right? I won't say like, know what? A lot of the choices that we make in our life, a lot of the decisions that we make, in the moment and stuff like that could be life or death. You never know the severity of the situation. But just live life each day like it's your last. And until next time, salute.